Hi everybody, Bill from BFG Precision, and welcome to the channel. Got an unboxing video for you guys today. Just picked this firearm up a few hours ago and was just able to get it back home. So wanted to, like I do with many of the other firearms I purchased, wanted to share the first thoughts with you guys. So this is a pretty popular firearm. It's been around for just a few months. Came out mid to late last year, 2022. So just wanted to just pick it up and share it with you guys. So before we get into it, just like I always do, be very appreciative if you guys can like and subscribe to the channel. Been around for a little over a year now, approaching 1,000 subscribers, and trying to just put out content for you guys. Any information I come up with, I try to to share that with the group here. If you guys have something you want me to look at or review, I'd be more than happy to do that. Just drop a comment and let me know. I learned from you guys. Hopefully you learn a little something from me, and that's what we do. We just kind of pass on information, and the platform of YouTube allows us to reach our arms across the country, hell, across the globe, with information. So something that's viable now in this day and age where 20 years ago it wasn't. So that's the idea, just trying to reach out to the community and share some information. So again, if you guys could like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, it all helps the algorithm push this content. So thank you very much. All right, with that said, let's jump into this. So this is a Sig Sauer firearm. It's a small box, so I'm sure you guys can pretty much figure out what it is. This is a P365. So let's go ahead and open it up. So normal case like you typically would get, much different than the older ones. Not a bad case, lockable. So I've been fairly pleased with them. They're all right. They're better than a lot of other OEM cases. Not like the custom work case, but Okay. So here we go. This is a P365. It's the P365X Macro. Okay. Here's the firearm. We'll put this aside for a second, just kind of get to it. This is a chamber flag. That's comes with everything, that. So the last firearm I purchased, you did not get a manual, and it looks like that's still the case. So, you get this code that you can scan with your camera on your phone, and it directs you to the PDF to download it. So once again, this is the second firearm I purchased from Sig now where you don't get the manual. So I don't like that. I like to have the ability to go download the file online, but I also would like to have, the manual. Now I have a few other 365s, so they don't change, so I have them. But for those that are purchasing a 365 for the first time, you're going to miss it. You're not going to get this, and you're going to have to print it out. So I understand why they're doing it. But it's for me. I'd rather have the manual. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Another sticker. So like this one here, we got another Sig Sauer sticker. Okay, we get some information on the Spec 1 lubrication that Sig uses. I know they do promote Lucas Oil as well, and I use the Lucas Oil products quite a bit in my cleaning. For those of you that didn't see my cleaning video, this is kind of a lot of the stuff I use for cleaning. So anyway, and I know Sig does promote the use of the Lucas Oil products. So and I've been pretty pleased with them. As long as you're using a good firearm oil, that's really what you want to do. So and then of course join the NRA. I'd recommend that folks do that. The more power you have, the more people that are included in those types of groups, and then just some ammo. So typical pair of manuals, advertisements that usually come with this. All right, so let's kind of get into what comes with the firearm. All right, so I'll go over this again in a minute. Just kind of show them to you now. So we'll get into the grip, and I'm sure a lot of you know about the X Macro and the grip, but here's some of the extra back straps that it comes with, and then it comes with a speed loader here and an extra mag. And these are 17 round magazines. Okay, so. Okay. Let's take the firearm out. All right, again, still has some oil on it. It still has the tag, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop that off. Okay, here we go, the X Macro, and this is unloaded right out of the box, brand new. You can see that it's checked, nothing in it. We have a safe firearm. Okay, so the X Macro with 2 magazines, okay, a speed loader, and 2 back straps. So right now, I think it tells you, yeah, on the back. So that's the medium, and you can see that. So that, let's see if you guys can see that. So that's an M. It's kind of hard to see, but that's the medium back strap is what it comes with. Okay, and then we have a small back strap here and then a large back strap here. And if you look at them, the difference between the small and the large, you can see that it's the thickness. So it's how much palm swell, like the back of your palm here. The back of your palm is going to be in the firearm. So you can see that difference there. Okay, and they're interchangeable. They'll slide up, all right, and then they're pinned in place. Okay, and then as we mentioned, these are 17 round magazines. So like I said, we have the SIG P365X Macro. It is the X size of the P365 XL version. So it is, but it utilizes a 3.1 inch barrel. So it utilizes the same barrel that comes with the standard version of the 365 and the 365X. Same barrel length. It has an integrated comp on the slide. That integrated comp is supposed to act like an expansion chamber and minimize recoil. I'll be doing another video after I put some rounds through this and just kind of talk about some of my feelings on that particularly. You know, as well as comparing it to some of the other 365s I have, and just kind of get a general feeling of how this compares in terms of shooting it. And then, you know, maybe I'll have some additions to this that I can talk about in the next video. But for right now, just kind of reviewing it, it has the, so I said, a 3.1 inch barrel. All right, it's an XL length slide with an integrated comp on it. Has X-ray 3 night sights. As you can see here, they're not suppressor height sights. And one thing that I do want to find out, and please drop a comment on there if any of you guys know, I'm really curious to find out if the EPS carry will be short enough to co-witness with the standard height sights. Because I think putting suppressor height sights on this is going to, they're going to be way too big. They're going to be really tall. There's not going to, forget about a lower 1/3 co-witness. You're going to probably be at a half co-witness, which I don't like. There's not, you know, the windows on these carry version optics are small enough for EDC. And, you know, I really don't want to put anything bigger in that window. So I'm really hoping that, you know, these standard X-ray 3 night sights will co-witness at a bottom 1/3 or even lower. I don't care if it's just coming in scene, you know, on the window. That's what I'm interested in. So if any of you guys know that, if you have macros and you have an EPS carry with this setup, can you co-witness? So drop a comment in there if you can. I'd love to hear about that. So everything else really is standard on the slide to how they're being made now, right? The optic plates are on them now, so you don't lose the rear sight, which is a big issue. It's a gripe that I've always had because I like to co-witness, and I don't consider the rear sights that come on the optics to be a rear sight. They're just not. They're not that pronounced. I love the Hollow Sun, but that doesn't have a rear sight, although they advertise that it does. And I mean, it does have some small little rear sight there, but in my opinion, it doesn't work really well. So optic sight, XL slide with the integrated comp, the setback front X-ray 3 night sight, and a rear X-ray 3. Standard barrel, 3.1 inch, as opposed to the 3.7 inch, I believe it is, on this firearm. It has, everything else is the same. So getting down to the lower is where things change pretty dramatically. Let's just start right up in front here. So this has a standard 1913 Picatinny rail. So right away, that's a big difference from what SIG made in their other grip modules. And one of the big significant things you should consider is that if we look at this firearm, okay, we're going to notice that this rail comes down almost square. All right, where if you have a standard version and you go look at it now, you'll see that it bevels in at the bottom. So when you go to try and drop this into a holster for your XL, you're gonna have a hard time. You can make it work if it's Kydex. You can heat that area up. What I did is I would use the aluminum tape that you use on HVAC systems, and I would put that around the holster. So it would deflect the heat, and the only thing I was heating up was the Kydex in the area I wanted to, and then you were able to shape it and put the firearm in there with another one that I have. It's not an X Macro, but it's a Icarus Precision, because Icarus has a 1913 rail as well. And I was able to get that firearm to fit after a couple hours of taking my time and really reshaping that Kydex. But I think it's good that we all know and understand that don't overlook that. Know that it's definitely when you buy this, know that you're going to have to probably either get another holster or do some work to the one you have. And you might not want to do work to the one you have because it fits your other P365 and you don't want to change that. The other thing too is if you put a light on this and you're getting a light bearing holster, then that's a moot point, because this isn't going to come in contact with your holster anyway. But when your trigger guard is used as the retention, this will absolutely come into play. Just something to think about, because it happened to me with my Icarus lower. So they changed the rail. So what else? Trigger's the same, controls are the same, mag release is the same. And honestly, the grip is the same with the exception of the length of it, and the fact that you have some flexibility in being able to swap out the back straps. But it's still your SIG grip. It has good texture. I really like that. It's not bad at all, but it's a significant difference in grip and be able to get on top of that. So the grip's lower. I'm not sure if it's wider. We'll have to take a look at that. We'll do a little bit of a comparison video in the next one that I do. And the mag does stick out a little bit at the bottom. That's probably good for pulling magazines out if you need to, but this extracts pretty well. Magazines looks like they're metal with a plastic base plate, and they have a high visibility orange follower. So literally everything else is the same. So you have some flexibility on the grip. I think that's the biggest sellers, this grip module, the capacity you get, the better rail, so you have more options for lights, the built-in compensator. And then I know a lot of them are going to optic plates now, but you get that on this as well. I just did a video not too long ago about the Legion and what they're doing with the optic plates now. With the exception of the Massachusetts version, you can get you're not going to get a Legion that's non-RXP, does not come with a Romeo 1 Pro. You're going to get an optic plate. You're not going to get that old slide that didn't have any optic cut for it. So I think that's a great thing. And my guess is once that firearm gets put on the Massachusetts registry, they're not going to make that anymore. So but yeah, so anyway, there it is, the P365. We can do some trigger pulls just to take a look at that. Let's see. I'd like to do that because I haven't decided yet, but I could be doing some trigger work on this, and it'd be nice to get a baseline with everybody here to see what the trigger weight is. So let's see, we're going to take the magazine out, okay, and we're going to get some trigger pulls. So £6 9 ounces. 6 pounds 5.9 ounces. 6 pounds 8.4 ounces. So we have an average trigger pull see, I'll let you guys see it, of 6 pounds, 7.8 ounces. Okay, so it's a 6.5 pound trigger. All right, that's a pretty heavy trigger. It's a carry gun, right? So, you know, I to be honest, I'm not really concerned about trigger weight. That's not a big concern of mine on my carry firearm. You know, I mean, on my range firearms, on my 1911, yeah, you know, I want to get those into the, you know, the threes. But honestly, on an EDC, that's not a concern at all. What I am more concerned about is the reset, right? So let's just look at this trigger as a whole. All right, so let's set it. So here is the pre-travel, take up. Okay, you hit a little bit of creep, and then you go into that wall, and you have a little bit of over travel. All right, let's check the reset. Not terrible. It's not bad. It's your typical 365. You know, so I don't know. Maybe I won't do anything with that. I don't know. I have to see. But yeah, really like the grip. That's a game changer. I mean, it's definitely feels good. I mean, you know, the beauty of this is SIG is selling this grip module now. So if you have an XL that doesn't have the comp, but you just want, I think they're under $100 too. So I think I want to say like $75. Don't quote me on that, but somewhere in that range you can buy the X Macro lower. Now the only thing is I'm not sure. I guess, yeah, they must be selling the mags too. So then, you know, the mags are not cheap. They're pretty expensive. I want to say magazines are in the area of $60 a piece. You know, so if you're going to make the investment and jump to this grip module, you know, you're going to be, you think you're going to spend $60 or $70 on the grip module, and then, you know, you got to get magazines with that. So to get another two, you're going to spend additional $120. You know, so at the end of the day, you're approaching $200 to make that decision, right? And I think this gun retails for somewhere in the neighborhood of $799.99, so $800, right? So just to get the lower with two magazines, you know, you're talking 25% of the cost. So, but anyway, so that's the SIG P365 X Macro. They actually have a version out now called the TAC Ops, which is the exact same version of this, except I believe it has a magwell on it. It does not have a built-in compensator, so no built-in comp. I think, pretty sure it has a magwell on it, and it comes with 3 magazines instead of 2. So that's the TAC Ops. So I think SIG does a good job at taking feedback from their customers. They got some feedback on this firearm, and I guess there's enough people out there that weren't crazy about the compensated slide, and you know, they gave folks another option. You know, SIG is designing their, you know, their 320 line and their 365 line around modularity, and they're supporting it with accessories, right? And now they're also supporting it with different models of firearms. So you know, good job for SIG for listening. And you know, if you ever go to the SIG site, you can put a review on there, but you also can ask a question. And I've done that a number of times, and they get back to you same day. Someone's looking at that all the time, and you know, it's usually less than 24 hours I hear back from them with an answer. So anyway, there you go, the SIG P365 X Macro. As soon as I get some rounds through it and have some other ideas, I want to share a little bit more, you know, down the line, I'll be breaking this out and do another video. And like I said, maybe compare it with some other 365s I have. So if there's anything particular you guys are looking at or want to see me review with respect to this, just drop a comment, let me know, you know, and I'd be glad to, you know, to do that. You know, the other thing too is, like I mentioned before, if any of you have that, the X Macro with the EPS carry, really be interested to see if it can co-witness, maybe even drop a picture or something like that to see it. So be interested to hear that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Again, if you guys could please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, I would really, really appreciate it. So yeah, with that said, everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.